I realized this past month, it's like better to be full of yourself than empty. You know, and I'm just like, I'm not going to listen to other people. I'm making the rules.
How when you start writing stuff down, how it starts to manifest and like literally becomes truth. Because if you believe it, it becomes true more than it doesn't. What allows people to get out of their comfort zone? I mean, have you mastered that with your own people? Like igniting what's in you inside others?
Yeah, I mean, first I have to live it and I have to be the example of it. I got to be living it, showing it. For some reason, Ryan, too, since I had this intention and I carry myself this way, when people are around me, it elevates them. Yep. And then the people that don't fit, they just exit.
You're listening to the Radcast, a top 25 worldwide business podcast. If it's radical, we cover it. Here's your host, Ryan Alford.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the latest edition of the Radcast. I'm Ryan Alford, your host. We're back today with my good friend Mike Ciorrocco. C-Roc, what's up, brother?
What's up, Ryan? Happy to be back, man. Just ready to jam. I got some wow info for you, bro.
I love it. Hey, WOW, as long as it's not Women of Wrestling. Are you old enough to remember that?
Yeah. I mean, the wrestling women have come a long way, haven't they?
They've come a long way. From Marvelous Mabel. It's like these ladies were, 60 years old back in the day, even they were wrestling. Oh, yeah. It's quite the feat. But no, I love getting wowed. We're going to wow the audience. I know we will. What's happening, man? Happy New Year.
Yeah, man. It's always good to go another time around the sun, right? And learn from everything that you went through the past year and see how you can level up the next year. And if you're like me, and I know you're like me, but if the audience is like us, like we do, we always need to do better than the year before, right?
Yep.
So I'm excited about this year.
Me too. I don't have any resolutions, but I do have things that I put down things I'm just not going to tolerate. And the top of the list was like accepting mediocrity, like for myself or others, and I think, you and I are brothers for another, very, driven naturally, blessed for maybe that drive inside, but like, it's still, sometimes I just feel like even I settle more than I should, and I just don't want to do that anymore. I want to push hard this year.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, you know what, man? I want to be full of myself. And, we get we get hammered a lot of times when we start to be full of ourselves. And we carry ourselves with confidence, and then you get all this chatter from other people, right? And we've heard since we were growing up, like, dude, take it easy. You don't want to stand out. Like, you don't want to be cocky and this and that. But you know what, man? I realized this past month, it's like better to be full of yourself than empty. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm not going to listen to other people. I'm making the rules. And then what happens generally, Ryan, and we've all experienced this in spurts in our lives, but we really lean into that, dude, the right people come and hang around you. And then the wrong people get the hell away from you. And so I'm not worried about like having everybody around me. I just want to have the right people around me, and I'm going to be full of myself. And I want to encourage everybody to be full of yourself rather than empty.
Yes. I mean, it starts with YOU. Right? I mean, it sounds cliche, and sometimes, you and I might go down paths and like certain things. I even hear myself, and I'm like, it's like, it's not a motivation book, but damn, there's just some truths. There's just some absolute truths. Like, you are the 5 people you surround yourself. You are what you allow yourself to be. You are the energy that you convey. And like what one of my favorite sayings, I'm going to say it's a Ryan Alford classic because I don't think I heard it anywhere, is you reflect. You need to reflect what you expect, and that means you need to be what you want everything else to be. You don't wait for everything to be what you want to be. You've got to reflect it for it to kind of manifest.
Yeah, I mean, one of my core values is leadership starts with me. I can't expect people to follow me. I can't expect people to lead me or anything until I'm willing to lead myself and hold myself accountable. And to the degree I do that, I'll get the same in return. The reflection thing is a great imagery or great analogy for this. One other thing I'll add to this, I had Chuck Garcia. What a great dude, man. If you guys don't know Chuck Garcia, look him up. But he was the spokesperson for Bloomberg back when Michael Bloomberg was running for mayor. And he was telling me the story on my show. I was asking him, like, do you talk to yourself? Because I'm crazy. Like, you see, what are you made of back here? I talk to myself. It's a phrase I use all the time. Thrust is a must. I tell myself, come on, keep going. I mean, I'm a little wild like that, right? But I think everybody talks to themselves. And I asked Chuck, I'm like, dude, when you're by yourself, like, what is the thing that sticks out to you that you say to yourself all the time? And he said, you know, the world rewards those with the most inner certainty. And I said, shit, man, then there's no sense in not having certainty because you're not going to get rewarded. And I don't know about you, but I want to be rewarded. Yeah. So I changed my mind, Ryan. I just switched my thought to like, I have 100% certainty I'm going to get what I want and where I go and all this. And if I decide and I don't do it, it's because I changed my mind to not want it or not do it, right? Yep. But the certainty has to be there. Why would you like ever entertain anything other than certainty if the world rewards certainty? And so that's something that happened in the last couple of weeks, man. And a couple angels have been popping. I call them angels because I was going through a little dark time this past December, separating some partnerships and long time relationships, man. And I'm not going to let it affect our relationships, but it just felt dark and heavy, right?
Yep.
And I got these dudes just popped into my life at the right time. And I don't know like why or where they came from, but that Chuck Garcia was one. And another guy, his name's Tom. He's from Ireland, man. He owns hotels. He's wealthy. And he just reached out to me out of the blue and didn't ask for anything. He just started shooting me stuff. And one of the things he shot me was, look, in the morning I wake up, he said. And he had this Irish accent. I'm not good at Irish accents, so don't put me on the spot with that. He said, I get up in the morning and I write a story down of myself. He writes a story. He calls it his mantra, but he writes a story about a guy every morning. And so I started doing this. And I'm like, shit, if it works for Tom, it's going to work for me. And I started taking this 8x11. Actually, I got my Think Billions folder here. Like, check that out.
I like it.
I started writing this thing down. Look, check this out. Let me find this page. But like every morning, right, I just started writing. You see this chicken scratch here, for those of you watching.
Yep.
So one page, when I get to the bottom, I'm done. But I wrote a story every morning about a guy that I want to be, the stuff that I want to achieve, what I do, the way I think, the people that are around me. I just started writing it. And then when I'm done, I go live it. And what it's done for me, man, I cannot tell you it started Christmas. All the stuff that I was stressing about, worrying about, focusing on, disappeared. It went into like the background noise. And the stuff that I started focusing on was my story. And let me tell you, then besides those angels, I call them angels because it popped out of nowhere. I had calls set up after I was writing these stories during the day. And these calls, these people, before me, I wasn't even asking them. They start speaking to me about things that I wrote in my story. This is the wildest shit ever, man. And I can only, it's the C-Roc experience. I shared the C-Roc experience. People could take it for what it's worth. Dude, it's amazing. And I can't stop doing it now. So every morning I'll be writing my story and I'm telling everybody, write your story, man. It's wild.
It's called journaling. And I've heard this.
Call it what you want, man.
But that's what, if people are out there might have heard that, like, but it's wild how when you start writing stuff down, how it starts to manifest and like literally becomes truth. Because if you believe it, I'm a firm believer, like if you believe it, it becomes true more than it doesn't. It's back to like what you said, that confidence and the faith and all that. And, you know, I've been blessed with that naturally. It's been oftentimes turned against me as arrogance. But even when I was at my brokest moment, my poorest moment, my, worst moment, I never lacked a confidence that I couldn't get on the other side of it. But that's always been my strongest attribute. Now I got a lot of weaknesses too, but that belief and when you write it down, it's amazing. Like a goal, it's kind of the same thing. If you can say all the goals you want, but if you don't write them down, if you don't create steps to make them happen, then they'll never happen, right?
Yeah, you got to take action, but the action comes from getting clear, right? Because like you could take action all day if it's not in the direction you want to go. And so I think a lot of people's problem is a lot of people aren't lazy. They're not willing to, or not that they're not willing to take action. It's just the direction and the focus. And then the people around you, man, this is one of the most important things. Like, and this goes to marketing and running businesses and all this shit, man. When you got the wrong people around you and you allow, it's on you. It's not them. The people are people. They're going to be there and you're not going to control them. But when you allow the wrong people in your environment, don't align with your mission, they don't align with your core values, It's on you. This will hold you back. It's like having flat tires, right? And people are so scared to clear up their environment. Now, I will tell you right now, you don't have to have conversations with people and tell them you're cutting them off. That's what people are scared of. You don't need to do that. You need to stand firm in your conviction of what you want, the standards that you keep, like you talked about for your resolution kind of thing, is like you're just done with mediocrity. And you stand firm in that conviction, live that out, and then they self-select out because it doesn't feel good to be around somebody like that if you're not with it. And you don't even have to cut them off. They cut themselves off.
100% right. I had this happen. True story. Radical. We're 5 years old. I've worked tons of agencies, had success, but starting your own company is different. I had this exact thing my first couple of years because I pulled in some of my old running mates to work with me at Radical, right? I was like, I knew that they were capable in the business and they had experience. And I'm like, okay, I need some experience on the team, right? Beyond me. Need to be bigger than me. But it was a drag. It was a weight like, a brick on a freaking, piece of paper in the water, like literally because they were negative. And a lot of people in the ad agency business are so jaded because it's a rough business. Like it's lucrative if you're talented, but it's rough because you work long hours. You put 1 million ideas and 100 of them said no, and you get a couple home runs, but it'll wear you out and you get real jaded and real cynical. And these guys were cynical, man. And I was like, man, I'm carrying this burden and like doing these things. And eventually it weeded itself out because I did exactly what you said. You set the expectation, you set the threshold, you say what's allowed and not, and it kind of worked itself out. But man, that is so true.
Well, the key with that is from the beginning, sometimes we hire out of convenience. We make partnerships out of convenience, right? And that's obviously the wrong way to do it. I've done it. I mean, I'm not speaking from this high place or anything like that. I am in a high place though, but I've been there before, right? Like, and I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not making that mistake again.
Yeah.
It seems good at first. It's convenient, like you said, but dude, taking things to the next level and being like, wow, that's not convenience, bro. That's just not.
No, not convenient at all. Talk to me about wow, though. I want to frame that up for everybody. What's wow mean to you? I mean, obviously people can hear it. That's the great thing about you. I love you. It's simple, but it's direct and it hits hard. But like, wow, like what defines wow for you?
So, first of all, to me, we got to wake up and then go out and live that life, like that wow life. Like I started thinking of myself through December. I was like, a reflection time for me. And I'm like, man, I don't know how long we got on this planet, right? And I'm like, if I'm here, I got to go all out. Like I have this hat on, thrust is a must. I got to go, man. And I'm thinking to myself, is it really worth living and having a business and relationships if it's not a wow experience? Like really? Why are we deciding to settle for anything less than that? So I just started pondering on that. And this is what I do. I pondered and I implement. And I started talking to my team about it. And I'm like, guys, we need wow experiences. We cannot move forward without the intention to be wow. It's unacceptable. And we need to start having a culture that's like that, a community that we create that's like that, and nothing else is accepted. And so we have not just in our businesses have committed to this, but also we are mentoring people in entrepreneurship and business, like salespeople and all that, and teaching them, look, you got to be wow or nothing. And come in our community, hang out with us, and we'll all be wow together, and we won't let each other fall. And so that's the message. We're teaching people how to live wow lives, have wow businesses, have wow relationships. I even got an idea the other day. I'm running, I think I was running or I was on the Stairmaster, and I'm like, oh shit, I can have WowCon. By the way, that's trademarked, so nobody try to steal it. WowCon, man. When you go to this convention, it's like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where the shit came from. I think it's a pretty good marketing thing. You're a marketing guy. Like,
I like it.
Wouldn't people like to come to WowCon?
I own some URLs and I own RecoveryCon. Like,
oh,
and shit. I just feel like it's valuable. I bought it like 10 years ago. And someone offered me like $5,000 for it. And I said, nah, I think I'll sit on that. I feel like, I don't know, it's either an addiction company or like something out there.
I like that.
But yes,
I love that.
So to answer your question with a real world example, love WildCon. I'm going to give you a name, and everybody out there, if you're a regular listener, then you know this name, Christopher Lockhead. He did episode 300 with me, Chris Lockhead. He's my one and only, literally, mentor. Like, look, I take inspiration. I learn from anyone. I don't want this to sound arrogant or anything, but like, he's the only real voice in my head, like with marketing, other than my own. And he calls it legendary. He's like, he's all about category creation. Instead of competing in certain categories, like, okay, wireless cell phones, instead of becoming another cell phone carrier, instead of becoming another Coke or Pepsi, he believes in you create a new category. And you become the only competition because you damn the demand for the existing category, and it starts to come to you because you framed a new category. And the only way to,
right? Blue ocean.
Exactly. It's similar. There's a couple of nuances to it, but it's very similar to that. And it's similar to that because what you're talking about with wow, because he's like, it's got to wow. It's got to be legendary. It's got to be defining. There's no average when you become the category king. And it's, same thing. I mean, I named my agency fucking Radical. I mean, the same thing. And look,
yep.
I haven't done it. I've said it, and I say it in every team meeting. But I'm going to do this. This year I'm going to make it happen. I say I'm going to make it happen, and I talk it. So I think I talk the talk, but I'm going to walk the walk with having it printed.
Let's go.
I'm going to print driver's license. It's a license to be radical. You have permission to fucking blow my mind and our clients' minds with ideas that are out of the fucking world. And like literally, and because that's what I challenge people to do is like, I named the agency Radical. They hire us. They expect it. They expect us to go piss in their cornflakes and like blow their mind. I mean, like,
and then eat it.
So the license to wow.
I love it, dude. Yeah. Oh shit. I had so many ideas coming in my head right now. Holy shit. Yeah, no, man, I love it. And the thing about WowCon or wow, like this whole idea. See, I have this club on Clubhouse I created called the C-Roc experience because I have an intentional experience I want people to experience with me when I'm in an environment. Like, if I come on a show, I want to shake the shit out of you. I want you to go home tonight and be like to your wife, like at dinner, like, oh my God, man, like how we got to get more people like that on my show. And then when you go to bed, I want you to dream about the experience. Like this is an intention. Right. And then that's just where you start. You start with that intention. And then whatever follows is the action from that. But you can't do shit unless you have the intention to do it.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, that's, I got a lot. 2023 is going to be freaking huge, man. And I just don't see any limits. Yeah. I don't care if I haven't done something before. I don't care if, I don't really give a shit about anything. I'm going.
Yeah. What do you think? What's the biggest? We talked a little bit about this. It's feeling a tad familiar, but I want to reiterate it because you can never say it enough. Like, knowing where this episode's going to fall, it's going to fall in January, the beginning of the year, and knowing that people have their own limitations in their mind. Like, but what do you think is the biggest thing that you've learned? You've run companies, you have people you train. What allows people to get out of their comfort zone? I mean, have you mastered that with your own people, like igniting what's in you inside others?
Yeah, I mean, first I have to live it and I have to be the example of it, right? I can't talk a game and then not have that myself. So that's why I talked about leadership starts with me. I got to be living it, showing it. When they're looking and they see me on Clubhouse having rooms or they see me on social and everything's like just energy outflow, massive energy. When I tell them, hey, we need massive energy outflow, they're gonna follow. So I really believe it's being a role model. When I wake up in the morning, I pretend, even if nobody's there, I pretend somebody's watching me. And I'm sitting right now in my studio and you guys are seeing me right here, but like there's nobody here besides you guys, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm down here by myself doing my thing, like I feel like there's somebody watching me and I have to keep the level up and the intensity because somebody could see me and then use me as an example to take it easy.
Yeah.
And I refuse to have that happen. So I think that's where it starts. I could go into a lot of things, but at the end of the day, and by the way, for some reason, Ryan, too, since I had this intention and I carry myself this way, when people are around me, it elevates them. Yep. And then the people that don't fit, they just exit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's back to what we were talking about,
Yeah.
They kind of self-select, right? Full circle. What, let's get specific. I mean, when you end the year, what will make you look back and go, I crushed it? You know, like, is there anything like specific that you'll look back and go that, you know, I'm not saying like a dollar amount or something like that, but is there anything like specific that you'll look back on and say, I did it?
Yeah, so this year was 2022 was a rough year as far as income goes because I invested a lot. I had startups that I'm working on. This is the year for those to explode. And obviously income, it's important. Income's important, let's face it. I want the income to be significant in this year. So there's numbers that I have out there for that. But the other thing is, like, I just want to consistently put together days that I'm doing everything that I have to do to be wow. Okay, so goals are great. And I have goals and targets and dreams and all that. But if I can live every single day like this, I know things are going to work out. You know, like live with certainty, stay up tone emotionally, and go all out. And you cannot help but win. So to me, you know, obviously I have several companies. I have a podcast agency that's blowing up, and we have targets for a number of clients there and what we're going to do for those people. Adding collaborators to come in with us and do some of the things that we don't want to do, but be able to provide those services. So just build that shit out. And then we started a mergers and acquisitions company called Waymore Group. And we're going to create a community around that. So we're not doing it ourselves and just buying businesses because that can get kind of boring.
Yep.
I want to create a community where we all come together and we're buying businesses and making life better for people. And so, you know, how many businesses do I have to buy to make myself satisfied? I don't know. Let's just say 20.
Right.
20 businesses purchased next year, community built, hundreds of people, and money just coming in that we couldn't even spend.
Yep. There we go.
There you go.
I like it. But you know what? You didn't say this, but I call it's a marketing term for me. It's something that I really believe in. It's part of branding and other things. The compounding effect of positive events. Because it's just like interest when you on money. Like interest doesn't really matter until it compounds over time, right? And it's the same thing with what you described. Putting together a string of these activities and these things that you're doing that you know are going to bear fruit. But the compounding effect of all of that is the same thing with marketing and branding. Everyone wants to go, well, what's my ROI on branding for a month? Well, I call it probably 0. But you know what? The compounding effect of that over 12 months, when you stick with it, I can show you the value because every client that's ever done what I've told them to do sees and bears the fruit because it compounds over time, it builds. And it's the same thing with what you're describing. Compounding effect of positive events. Love it.
Most people quit because they're not seeing results right away, right?
Yep.
And so my ideal situation is to get so many people talking about me and my team that I don't have to talk as much about it anymore. And then you talk about exponential, right? And compounding. To me, that's true omnipresence. When people are talking about you and you're not even there,
Yep.
right? That's what I want to see. And I'm starting to see that now already, but Ryan, I don't know about you if you've ever felt this way, but I'm seeing results and I'm seeing what I'm capable of, and all human beings are actually capable of these things. They just have to figure it out. To the ability to create, the ability to pretty much do whatever you want, that I want to see how far I can take this thing. It's like a game to me now. You know, I want to be an actor, right? Or I want it to be. I am an actor because now I start saying this. I'm an actor. I want to be in film and I want to be in TV shows. I don't know where that came from. It just came to me, and I just trust my imagination and intuition. And I believe it comes from God. I think that's how he talks to us.
Yeah.
For whatever you guys believe, good for you. But that's what I believe. So I'm going to run with it and see how far I can take it, man, because I'm 45 years old. There's nothing that says that I can't be an actor and decide to be an actor at 45 and then become a star. There's no rules out there. I'm not going to, I just refuse to believe that there's some kind of rule for that. So
No rules. That's what people can't get through. They think that that's only something that can happen to somebody else, right? Yeah, like, no, there is nothing special about me. Like, you know, like, I just have a innate drive that might be special, but there's nothing more than that. Like, I refuse to be average, and my brain never stops working with ideas. I mean, that's my skill, I guess, but like, there's nothing special about that. You know, and people have to get it out of their head that they can do whatever the hell they want to do. They just got to do it.
Yeah.
Action, man.
Yep.
Action. So talk to me about where everybody can keep up with WOW. I was sitting here thinking as you're talking, I'm like, you and I get on these podcasts and it feels less like a podcast and more like a conversation, which is what I love. I think we're just going to have like a quarterly C-Roc edition. I
Let's
mean,
do
you
it.
know, the
Yeah, let's do it.
Radcast C-Roc quarterly episode that will have a much more creative name than that when I think about it for a second. C-Roc
Yeah, no,
says.
I'm down, man. Look, you can find me all over the place. Instagram is my favorite platform, probably Mikey C-Roc. And then Clubhouse and Twitter. By the way, Twitter started to jump, Twitter Spaces. I'm over there building now. I just got over. I'm learning all that. So, you know, I made myself very easy to find, man.
Yes, C-Roc. Go find them. And if you're catching this episode and you didn't hear him in December, go listen to that fire as well. And I really appreciate you coming on, Mike. C-Roc.
Dad, thanks for having me back, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, guys, we're at the radcast.com. Search for WOW. You'll find all the highlight clips from today. I'm at Ryan Alford on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You know where to find me. We'll see you next time on the Radcast.
To listen or watch full episodes, visit us on the web at theradcast.com or follow us on social media at our Instagram account, the.rad.cast, or at Ryan Alford. Stay radical.